Hello, sir. I hope you can see me and my slide over there. So I'm Sheikh Salman. My ID is 171159398, and I'm from section O11. I'm going to give my presentation for the course Introduction to Robotics on the robot control system. So let's get started. So what is robot control system? So robot control system is a system that takes input from the user or from the environment through sensors and passes those data to the inner mechanisms of the robot that actually generates how fast the robot should move, how fast the parts of the robot should move, and how much force it should apply on something. So uses of robot control system is that to control the motion. That actually means how fast the robot should move or how fast a part of the robot should move. Another use is the force control, and other use is hybrid motion and force control. So let me explain force control and hybrid motion and force control together. So here you can see there is a robotic hand holding a pen. So that is maybe for writing something or drawing something. We know in drawing the force of the pen or the pencil actually matters. And so to get a perfect drawing, we must have the control of how fast the hand should move and how much pressure it should apply to the drawing. So control system actually helps us to control the motion and the force of a robot or parts of a robot. So on the next slide, I have, let me get to the next slide. So this is the next slide. Actually, it contains the inner diagram of our control system. It's not actually, it's a block diagram, but includes more details. So here we can see there is a power supply unit which actually takes AC current from the wall supply and passes DC to the amplifiers. And here we can see a controller that takes user input either from the user or from the environment through sensors and passes the data to the amplifiers. And then amplifier uses this data to actually measure how much current it should pass to the motor. And also here current sensors helps the amplifier to better understand how much current is required by the motor to generate the torque. So control system tells the amplifier that I need this behavior and you should supply the required current to the motor. So amplifier just calculates how much current the motor is required, and when the current is passed to the motor generates the required torque. Because the torque or the movement of the motors actually depends on how much current is passed into them. So this diagram can be simplified like this, a very simple diagram which just includes two parts: the controller that takes input and passes the input to the inner instruments of the control system that actually consists of the sensors, amplifier, motors, and it just uses the input from the controller and passes the output or the behavior to the controller again, and the controller actually makes the real movement possible. So here the box diagram or the block diagram actually seen a little bit complexly. Here you can see two new parts added: the sensor errors and the force disturbance. It's because sometimes the sensors may not give the perfect data that the behavior required, or the motors cannot actually generate the perfect torque that is required for getting the desired behavior. So sometimes we need to add custom values to the sensors, or we need to add or reduce the current to the motors to get the perfect desired behavior. So we need to actually correct the errors caused by sensor and the motor. So this is actually how it is an abstract overview of how control system works. And so thank you. That was my presentation. Thanks if you actually watched this. Bye.